Hi everybody, how are you? I'm Mahdy Fakkary and my nickname is Matthew. I'm an IELTS teacher. I've been an English teacher for the past 11 years, and in this set of videos, in this series, we are going to advance through a number of IELTS speaking questions, part 1, and I will discuss the questions, give you some sample answers, and explain to you how to give the most appropriate answer to each question. So without further ado, let's jump to the first topic and see what we got there. So the topic is study. This is a mandatory topic. This is a topic that's always there. The examiner will always ask you this question, this topic, study or work, depending on what your answer is in the beginning. The examiner will ask you if you work or you study, and then you have to present your answer like this. And then according to the answer that you give, then the examiner will choose to ask you questions about study or work. But in this series, we will discuss both of these topics. So the first question is, do you work or are you a student? Like I said, the examiner will ask you this question. Although a lot of us might think that we have yes/no questions every time the question starts with do, it is not always the case, and sometimes we have do in the beginning of the question, but it is not always a yes/no question. It says, do you work or are you a student? So you have to choose one of these two situations. And although some people love adding extra philosophy to the responses, I personally wouldn't recommend it. Some people say, well, I'm currently doing both. I'm in the middle of my PhD studies, and at the same time, I'm working as a teacher, blah, blah, blah. But this is a very complicated answer. Instead, I would recommend that you pick one and stick to that one. But there's a point here. When the examiner asks you, are you a student? It is not about if you are taking English lessons, if you are going to English classes. Are you a student means, are you a high school student, a college student, or a university student? It's not about some extracurricular classes. It's not like I'm a teacher, but I'm also taking music lessons. So it doesn't make me a student. It makes me, it still keeps me a teacher, because the classes that I'm taking for music, the music lessons that I'm taking, they are part-time. They're just like a hobby, and it would not make my entire character. So do you work or do you student? Stick with one and talk about the one that you actually are, because you are going to have to answer a number of questions based on your response. So I would say, I would answer both of them, because we have this question here in both topics. Do you study or do you work? Do you work or are you a student? So I would say, well, for this topic, we'll go with I'm a student. Well, I am a student. I've been a student of PhD for the past few years, and I'm working on my thesis, and I'm studying at the University of Allama Tabatabai in Tehran, Iran, and it is the major that I studied in my previous degree as well. So I'm giving some information about my field, I'm giving some information about myself, not only for my own introduction in this video, but also for the answer to this question. So do you work or are you a student? Choose one and stick with that one. For this topic, we'll go with student. For the next topic, we'll go with work. Then it says, which university did you go to? Or which university do you go to? Depending on the answer, the examiner might alter some features of the question. So if you see the question, which university did you go to, in the book or on a website, it doesn't mean that your answer has to be in simple past. It doesn't mean that you should refer to the past when you're talking about your studies. For example, I'm currently a student, and my answer has to be about the current time, and I have to explain that I still am a student and that I am going to this university. So I would say I am studying in one of the most prestigious universities in Iran, the University of Allame Tabatabai in Tehran, and it is very popular and well known for its English major students and graduates. It, in fact, has one of the best faculties regarding English, teaching English as a foreign language or literature. So this would be a very good answer. Now, depending on your university, you could talk about it. You could use some words like like what I said, a major university, or a not very popular university, or a not famous university, or an unknown university, a small university in the middle of the town, or a small university in the outskirts of the city. And these are some words that you could say to describe your university. But these answers, they don't have to be too long. In fact, they mustn't be too long. They have to be within the time limit of the exam. And because they're the first few questions, just be precise, be to the point, but do not over-explain your answer. And then the next question says, why did you choose your school or university? So that's what I said, that when you say that you are a student, you're either a school student or a university student, or sometimes a college student. So why did you choose your school or your university? You should bring at least one reason for this question. And this reason has to be logical, has to be acceptable. Sometimes we IELTS teachers, we tell our students that, yeah, it's okay to lie. Yes, it is okay, but choose when and where you lie. Choose the questions for which you might tell a lie. And for this one, for example, why did you choose your university? Well, I chose this university because it is absolutely phenomenal in the world and it has very high rankings. Well, no, it doesn't. And that was not my reason. So I have to stick with a very logical and acceptable answer. For instance, I chose this university because it was the best option and the best place to study English in Iran. It's also in the heart of the capital city of my country, so it can give me a load of job opportunities upon graduation. So this would be a very good answer to this question. Then, do you like your school or do you like your university? Well, I should say that I both like it and there are some things that I don't like about it. For instance, I like how the atmosphere of the university is very academic and everybody is thinking academically, and you can have access to a lot of great resources. But at the same time, this same feature makes it a little difficult to enjoy your time, and it might be a little rigid at times, so you might need a break from the serious atmosphere. So this is something like this. The technique that I used was, contrasting responses, a but technique. So I say something positive, but something negative as well. Another technique that I could use here is ARE that I explained in my speaking course comprehensively, and I tell everything there is about it. There is to know about this rule and about this structure. ARE says answer, reason, elaboration. So I give an answer. Do you like your university? Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I'm so satisfied with my choice of university. That would be the answer. Then I would go with the reason. The main reason why I'm so fond of this place to study is the academic atmosphere and how encouraging it is for me to pursue my goal and advance in my field. And then I elaborate even further. No matter where you are, you see students and professors talking about research and about lessons, and how professors are vigorously trying to make you understand what they know and what you should be familiar with in the field. And this is, in my opinion, one of the greatest points that a university could have. So I gave an answer, a reason to the answer, and I elaborated my point. All right? And we go with the last question of this part, and the last question of the first episode of these videos. And the question is, which part of your school do you like? So you in a way, this is something that you have to be a little more elaborate and you have to be a little more specific. For instance, you could say, like I said in the previous response, the atmosphere, but it wouldn't be the best idea to bring it to the examiner's face that, as I explained previously, the best thing about my university is the atmosphere. Well, I just said it, and I need to be creative and I need to be able to come up with another point to present. Because honestly, if there's only one thing you like about your university, well, then that's not a very good university, and you have to think about, other reasons why you're staying there or why you're studying in that university. So, try to come up with something else. For example, which part of your school or university do you like? Personally, every time I enter the university or every time I want to leave classes at the end of the day, I see the yard filled with a large range of trees, and it gives me a great sense of euphoria. It makes me feel great, and it really relieves my tension throughout the day or early in the morning. It gives me the chills that I am in a great place. So in my opinion, the trees and the yard uh, make one of the most attractive parts of the university. So this would be an answer that explains it, and it does not repeat the answer that I have already given. The atmosphere, I did talk about it. So at this point, I need to talk about something different, and I need to say something that is not the same as the previous question. All right? So this would be it. I highly recommend that you think about your answers. Try to prepare a number of different answers for every question. And the more you think about these questions, the more answers you will have in your mind. Now, please like this video and subscribe to our channel, and try to stay with us. Try to take the chance to watch as many of our videos as possible, many of my videos as possible. And in these series of videos, I will help you get as ready as you should in order to tackle this part. So if you need more information, you have my contacts in the info of the page, and we will be in touch. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Well, in fact, I look forward for you to see me in the next video. So take care, have fun, and see you later.